Shabbat Shalom again, everybody. Thank you to the wonderful One Voice Band. This is not necessarily music they're used to playing in a band format, or singing for that matter. So we give them a lot of credit there. That just shows how wonderful and talented you are. So thank you so much. The next thing you're going to hear is actually some audio from a video, so I'm going to get that ready to go. Hedony, here I am, a profound statement of presence. It comes from the word hine, which means here. But hine means so much more than just here. It can mean behold, followed by a proclamation, a heroic statement of sorts. In fact, it's used 178 times throughout the Tanakh, when God challenges Abraham to sacrifice his son, and when Moses was on the mountain in front of the burning bush, just as a couple of examples. In modern Hebrew, the word for here is po. So if you're in school and you're asked to call out, "Are you here?" during attendance, you would respond with ani po, right? So why is it that our biblical examples have our characters say hineni, here I am? Couldn't Abraham and Moses just say po? Our focus shouldn't be necessarily on the recipient, but rather the seeker. This isn't just a normal teacher or a random person requesting their presence. God wants to know if they are present. It's a request from the divine, holding far greater weight. On Erev Rosh Hashanah, the first words following "please rise," uttered by the clergy, is just that. Hineni, here I am, or here we are, in a communal sense, announcing our presence and our prayerful intention before God. In classical days, and some of you might remember this, I certainly do, the cantor, wearing a large robe and a chazan kippah that rose to the sky, would kick off the high holidays by entering from the back of the sanctuary. Slowly, the cantor would proceed down the aisle singing these powerful words, followed by the true proclamation. Behold, here I am, trembling in fear. Make my words and my plea acceptable on behalf of me and your people, even though I am not worthy of the task. Accept my prayer in love. Praised are you, the one who listens to our prayer. Now imagine for a moment if the cantor had said in the back, "Ani po." It wouldn't hold the same grandeur, and certainly not with the same humility desired and expected for the moment, standing before God. We don't want to say hineni at every moment. It's kind of like eating ice cream. You wouldn't want it every night because it wouldn't taste as good and it wouldn't be for a special occasion. We can translate hineni not only as here I am, but as represent. When a powerful moment arises, we say, I am here to represent. When we say hineni, it means so much more than I'm here. It's the time where we are most vulnerable, a time where we stand before something greater than ourselves, a time designated for not just the moment, but not just any moment, but the moment. At this time, I want you to close your eyes. Leave them closed for a moment if you're comfortable. Imagine yourself anticipating the start of the High Holy Days. And listen to cantor Yosef Rosenblatt, a Golden Age cantor, singing hineni with such passion, emotion, and intention, entering from the back of the room, establishing and sustaining the moment on our behalf, saying, I am here to represent. It's truly incredible how Cantor Rosenblatt and most of the Chazanim from the Golden Age not only sings with a profound voice, but truly captures the moment and translates through his voice, tells the story on behalf of the congregation. There's just nothing like that anymore. Maybe in different ways. There's something truly special, and I'm glad Cantor Rosenblatt could join us on this Shabbat. We're going to talk together for this second sermon. Lidor vador nagid godlecha. From generation to generation, may our lips proclaim your name in greatness. I want to hear from you as we talk about our generations. When I say or ask what Lidor vador means to you, what does it bring up? Who does it bring up? What lessons did someone from your past generations bring forth to you? Let's share on this Shabbat. Who'd like to begin? And tell us who you're talking about.
Okay, my name is Gabby Timsit, and my mom, who had one sister and 5 brothers, all from Morocco. My mom passed away 6 weeks ago, and she was the last of her generation, and that was truly the end of that era. And all of my cousins and my brothers and my family just felt that it was a new page being turned, and I felt the door vador, in very clear light. And now I find myself carrying on the traditions that my mom, my uncles, my aunts, and my grandfather, my grandparents gave to me, and I feel a responsibility to carry that on.
What other lessons would someone like to share about someone from their past? Please.
I had 2 sets of grandparents. I was very lucky. One grandfather died when I was 4. The other one, I was 20. But my grandmothers both lived to 92. And although I had moved from Montreal to California, I still made it a habit to go back and visit. I visited my parents and my grandparents and Len's family. So there are so many opportunities when Len and I speak Yiddish to each other. And we were also brought up in French Canada, so we spoke French as well. Actually, I don't know when I spoke French or English first, but it was there. I have tried to speak other languages to my kids, and they have picked up quite a number of words in Yiddish, and so have my grandkids. And the idea that all these crazy words in Yiddish, because you can't translate them, never. You can't translate them. It's a generation lost. It truly is. The other day, I was setting the dining room table because I was going to have some ladies for tea. And I turned to Len and I said, yeah, my grandmother's last words to me, and I hope you understand it or not, I said, my grandmother's last words to me were, hab ich gemacht der Tisch. Did I ever set a beautiful table? And every time I do it, if it's Rosh Hashanah or Pesach or whatever, I think of those words. These were the last words she told me.
Thank you for sharing that. Wow, that's powerful. My Bubby and Zeta used to speak Yiddish to each other around me, so I wouldn't know what they were saying. I was just, you do that too? Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, please.
I want to thank you, Rabbi, for playing that beautiful prayer sung by the cantor. You transported me back to my childhood. I was raised in an Orthodox temple. Girls did not go to Hebrew school. They didn't learn anything. God forbid we should be educated. And I was very lucky when I got older, and I went to a Reformed temple. When I was 50, I decided that it was time for me to learn. And I'm glad, because I had my bat mitzvah at 52. And at the time, I did not realize that when my parents were gone, it would be up to me to carry on the traditions, though I could never do as good as my father did. Whenever I'm here in temple, I can hear him, and he was wonderful, but I was so grateful for that opportunity. And like you said, my mother passed away just 2.5 years ago, and it does feel different when all of a sudden it's the new generation.
Thank you. Anyone? Yes, Aaron.
So my grandfather moved to America when he was about 13 by himself. And it's pretty remarkable. He taught himself English from a Yiddish English newspaper. He slept on a cutting table in the fashion district in Manhattan with a piece of wool as a pillow so he wouldn't have to pay for the Y, so he could send more money home to his family. And when I knew him, he had the records of the Chazanut, and he used to listen to them, and he loved music. He was quite musical. And he belonged to a conservative shul in Miami Beach. We lived in Miami. And I remember we used to come to pick him up for Yom Kippur, for break the fast, and he was still in temple when we had already finished and came over. And he loved listening to the children sing, and used to talk to me about how there was nothing like listening to the children in the temple sing Adon Olam or Ein Keloheinu. So I'm just thinking about him and how much he loved Jewish music, and I love Jewish music, so I have that from him.
Thank you. Anyone else? There's something truly special about the nature of Lador Vador in Jewish tradition. Each and every one of us is a link in a chain that stretches all the way back to our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. And everybody since then has their very own link with an inscription on it that says their name and who they are. This is figurative because this would be a long chain. And it leads all the way to us. You too have a link in the chain. And if one of those links were to break, what happens to the chain? It comes down. That's why we take these stories, these traditions, the Jewish music, sitting with your father, and you are just as good, if not better. Listening to your mom's words and speaking Yiddish to yourselves. This is what Lador Vador means. This is what it is. We hope that that chain is iron, is hard, and is strong. And it's up to each of us to keep it strong and to create new links in the chain so that we may not only survive as a Jewish people, but most certainly thrive as a Jewish people. Lador Vador, from generation to generation.